From birds floating in the air to angry Bigfoots, destroying campsites, and even ghosts of soldiers visiting the war memorials, we are in for a terrifying dive into the world of mysterious happenings that will leave you shocked. Again and again, I have been telling you guys how potentially dangerous camping in the wild can be, especially if we consider sundown. That place is haunted by a gigantic beast, which gets angry every time it sees hunting camps in the woods. As these hunters left their camp looking for bears around, they left a camera behind monitoring the camp, and this is what it recorded. The beast, also called Bigfoot by many, emerges from the trees and attempts to destroy the camp. It throws broken tree branches with all its might before leaving. The hunters were shocked to see all the mess when they came back, and they knew what had happened. As this terrifying video was uploaded on YouTube, it sent a loud and clear message to all the hunters. The notion that we have in mind of these creatures being shy is not right, and they can be deadly when the time comes, so it's better to stay away. Just imagine if you were there at the time this creature decided to pay a visit. Recorded in 2016, this video was anonymously posted on YouTube, and it features something that can be absolutely considered to be the stuff of nightmares. The man keeps saying that they heard someone screeching, and it was not anything like they have heard before. So he went down and out of the house to look if it was an animal in need of help or something, but instead found a creepy cryptid right on the roof staring back at him. It looked like a human with white straight hair, staring right at him. In seconds, the creature ducked back down and disappeared in the darkness. No matter how much the man tried, he could not find it again. The face of the creature reminds me of the rake, but it seems way too calm compared to the descriptions I have heard about. What do you think? Uploaded a couple of years ago by a YouTuber who has made the goal of his life to track Bigfoot and to prove to the whole world that they exist. But once as he was tracking the trail that he found, he somehow got too close to the beast and in the process ended up pissing the beast off. As he moved his flashlight and the camera towards where the creature was, the two glowing eyes stared into his soul, and he knew he had messed up. If we look into it closely, we can clearly see that the creature was ready to pounce upon the man and get done with him once and for all. However, the guy ran for his life, and luckily the creature did not follow him around. Personally, I would have dismissed this clip by saying it could be some car's headlights, but after the editing of the footage, we can clearly see the creature moving its head towards the man, so they have to belong to a deadly creature. We can also see the size of the creature. It looks to be massive. This video was uploaded on TikTok with a guy claiming he saw this weird thing when he was out with friends late at night. He had no idea what the insect was, so he uploaded it in order to see what others had to say. It looked like a praying mantis trying its best to mimic a scorpion. The video sent a wave of shock and weirdness on everyone who saw it. For some, it was a mix between some saw-trap bug and a scorpion, while for others, it was a bug straight out of hell. I had this clip for weeks and was looking around what this might be, but was not able to find out. Do any of you know what this thing is? They say soldiers who die while protecting their country never really die. These guys were out driving late at night when one of them saw something on the bench in front of them. It looked like someone was sitting there, but it was not clear. As the car moved on, they saw it was not a real person, but a ghost of a man. Before this clip was recorded and uploaded, many people had reported seeing a soldier in uniform sitting on the bench, as if waiting for someone, and it will not be a coincidence that the bench was right next to a war memorial built years ago. The soldier probably came there every night in search of his loved ones, and in the hope that he will get to see them one day. Recorded in 2022, this terrifying encounter happened when some of the hikers going their way peacefully were approached by a polar bear who did not have good intentions. At first, just curious, the bear tried sniffing around before getting a little aggressive and tried snatching one of the hikers' jackets. Thankfully, the bear was easily startled by the noises the hikers started making and thought it would be better to get away from the humans. Even though the bear was a little aggressive towards them, it did not look like it was in a mood of attacking or hunting. It amazes me it did not attack them. Polar bears are known to be the most deadly bears when encountered. Hence the saying, if it's white, say goodnight, because you stand no chance against them. Bears, once hungry, are capable of attempting such stunts we have never imagined them doing. Take this clip, for instance. The bear was looking for some food for quite some time and failed after hours of looking, but just then, its eyes fell upon the bird seed house that was hung by the humans for the birds to come and feed. Having no other option, that bear had to get whatever the birdhouse had to offer, so it first climbed up the tree, then hung on the rope, and after minutes of struggle, it reached the tree. However, unfortunately, it lacked the talent of eating while swinging in the air. So unable to balance itself, the bear fell on the ground and sat there with a growling stomach and lost hopes, while the humans nearby film it all on their cameras. The ocean can be way scarier than what you or I have ever imagined, and I am not talking about what lies beneath hundreds of feet deep. I am talking about how scary it can be even for someone who is on his boat on the surface. Take this man, for instance. He was just fishing peacefully when an orca or killer whale spotted it and decided to give him a chase he will remember his whole life.
Hey, it's coming this way! Let it jump on us! Hey. Ah! Go!
Killer whales are called this way because they leave not one single soul in the entire ocean that they won't take for lunch. And that includes even big whales and sharks. So that indicates that orcas can be way more dangerous than a white shark following you, because they are the fastest and one of the most intelligent animals as well. So you can just imagine what a terrifying experience this might have been for the fishermen. Thankfully, all it did was give the men quite a good chase and then left them alone. Imagine coming to your home, but before you enter the house, you see a weird sight, a creepy crawling creature right on the roof, looking at you. As you start filming, the creature hides behind the roof, only for it to reappear on the ground right in front of you. Well, this is exactly what happened to this man a couple of years ago in Brazil. As he uploaded the clip on the internet, he claimed this was an alien he saw and recorded on his camera. The clip received mixed reactions from people, from some claiming it being real to others thinking the video is fake and edited. For me, the video does look like it is edited, because if it isn't, should we start believing that the aliens are roaming on Earth without anyone noticing? Or could it be another cryptid? This video dates back to 1999 from Norton Hall, a daycare for old people. A group of care workers were continuously hearing weird sounds, which according to them sounded like a cat. They tried finding where the cat was, but they couldn't. However, one night when the cat was heard meowing way loudly than before, they decided to leave a laptop with a webcam on to see if it could catch the animal in need of help somehow. And what the camera recorded was a cat, but not a real one. Instead, a ghost cat was the animal they could hear the cries of. According to the people, that night, one person died there at the age of 99, and he was known to be the ultimate cat lover and even had a cat shelter. After that night, no one ever heard any cat crying for help ever again. Could it have been the spirit of a cat he cared for in his life, coming to visit him one more time, perhaps coming to help him into the afterlife. Most of the time, we have seen bears being outrun by hikers or snowboarders. However, if those clips make you think that if you ever encounter a bear, you can easily outrun it, then let me tell you, that is a wrong assumption you are making there. Watch this clip where we can see a grizzly bear sitting peacefully. However, in a minute, it starts running around, possibly trying to scare the animals around it or to catch one. And we can see how fast the bear hopping around in the long grass like no big deal. As a matter of fact, bears can run at a speed of 42 kilometers or around 30 miles per hour. So leave whichever thought you had in mind of outrunning a bear, because not even Usain Bolt with his top speed can do that. Your best bet if you don't have pepper spray is to either scare it or play dead. Recorded in 2015, the tragedy for this intruder unfolds as he jumps off the wall into the backyard of this house. He had no single idea what was about to happen. With his evil intentions, he was all in for looting whatever he gets his hands on. After minutes of looking around and seeing how everything is locked up with chains, he starts moving towards the front of the house to see if there was anything there he could steal. However, that's when one of the big dogs spots him and comes into action. The man tried his best to get away from the dog, from pushing it and kicking it away. To me, it even looks like the dog is not even giving his best. He's just pulling him a bit, while the other's dogs stand aside for most part. After minutes of struggle, he managed to get above a cart where the dog couldn't reach him and cried for help. This clip was recorded in 2019, and it shows how in the middle of the road, a man is seen standing completely still, as the cars moving on the road have to stop and turn around to avoid the man. He just stands there without even blinking or moving an inch from his spot. According to the men who were in the car, it was enough to give anyone a heart attack, as it was quite late at night, and to encounter that, anyone will think of it as a ghost or something. I am not sure what his deal is. Was the guy trying to scare people? Some people had said it is a cardboard made so that drivers slow down, but it is one of the most realistic ones I've seen, if that's the case. There is no limit to how scary nature can be, and there are some people who get to witness the terrifying side of nature firsthand. For instance, these people who were going on their way when suddenly trees started falling right in front of their car, as they stopped to see what was happening. It took them a second to realize they were in the middle of something very scary, and they needed to back off quickly, which they did. However, they were already in the heart of the action, so there was not time to get all the way out. The trees kept falling one by one, and ultimately one hit their car, but fortunately, it was a smaller one. Thankfully, these people were safe, but many were not as lucky, as this deadly landslide hit lots of homes and buildings and caught many people off guard, not ready to escape at all. Glitches in the Matrix are not something only bound to the movie. There are times when humans have encountered these glitches happening in real life as well, making us all think if what the movie said was actually true or not. This clip showed one such incident when a man saw a flock of sheep, which were normally grazing a moment ago, go still in a second. Not even one of them was seen moving. They just stood there, like someone took life out of them. The man was shocked to see what was happening, and so he saved the moment in his camera. The clip is 34 seconds long, and all that time, the sheep remained as still as they could. This clip even has me shocked. I have no idea what can cause such a phenomenon. Was there a predator nearby, and for some reason they thought freezing is the best course of action? If any of you have any idea what this was, feel free to comment down below. Seemingly a usual day in 2019, with trucks going on their business on the road. But then, not even a minute passes, and a huge windstorm is sensed to be coming towards the place. At first, It is only the benches which are pushed around by the wind. But soon the signboards, the tent nearby, and everything turns into a chaos as the storm approaches closer and closer to our spot. In just a matter of moments, we see a usual day turn into a mess. I am thankful I have not encountered many tornadoes, because this looks completely terrifying. This is like just a glimpse of the sheer power nature holds. When a person first sees it, the mind quickly relates it with blood, and all we can think about is that this is a bloody river, which might have a terrifying past attached to it as well. As terrifying as this is, it did not turn red due to blood being spilled in it. Instead, the river has this color due to the sediment content in it. The river carries a significant amount of sediment, which gives it a reddish hue, especially during the monsoon season when it swells with water and erodes the riverbanks. But for sure, it will give you a short panic attack if you were to see it for the first time. Sometimes even the smallest of fellas can prove to be the strongest. For instance, in this clip, when a burglar jumped from a wall into this house's backyard, he had the intention of stealing whatever he could from the house. After examining the backyard for a few seconds and not finding anything, he moved on to the front of the house in the hopes of getting his hands on something valuable there. However, the little doggo that was following him around all this time sensed that the man did not have good intentions. So, it started barking at him and chased him around to the wall where he had jumped in from. The man, not knowing what else to do and fearing being caught, ran for his life and did not stop until he was far, far away from the reach of the dog. The owner later found the video and could not be any more grateful for the dog. Most of the time, we see humans being chased by bears in the wild. But what will happen if a bear somehow ends up in the middle of lots of humans in the village or the city? Well, this clip will give you all your answers. As this bear wandered off from the wild into the village and found itself surrounded by a number of humans, it freaked out, which is a very normal reaction for the animals. And during all that, it ended up chasing a man, getting on top of him, and running away without harming him. All due to the noises and the charging humans he could see everywhere. As the video ended right there, I have no idea what happened to the bear, and if it made it out alive or not. The quick action of the men charging towards the bear might have saved the man's life. I bet that will be an amazing story to share later on. This man saw an unusual sight and recorded it, so he can share it with the world later. A bird was seen stuck in the middle of the air. It looked like something just stopped that bird when it was flying in the air. There were no ropes or strings in sight that we could assume the bird would be hanging on. It was literally just floating. Not just the man, but the whole internet was shocked, unable to believe what they were seeing was real. Could it be another glitch in the Matrix? Or are there more mysteries in the world that humans haven't resolved yet? A man shared this video on his Facebook profile, asking his friends and followers for answers about his terrifying encounter. At the start of the video, we can see a creature both terrifying and strange pouncing around in the backyard. It's really aggressive towards the man, and you can hear hissing sounds from it. At a quick glance, it might look like a weird bat or ray fish that ended up in the wrong place. But if you look closely, it has hands and legs all connected by thin wings, and even little horns on its head. It's like a creature that comes right out of hell. Even the dog in the video doesn't seem brave enough to go near this frightening thing, would you? Only when it's nighttime and when there's no one around, except for the deep forests and empty road, that's when the unknown emerges. This footage unfolds from a car's rearview camera, capturing a desolate forest road. While the car is reversed on the road, everything appears typical at first. Until it suddenly isn't. During the reverse, a young woman inside the car catches sight of something in the distance. It's a shadowy figure that seems to be slowly moving. However, as the girl noticed closely, the figure was moving nowhere except towards the car. This figure begins a gradual approach, then picks up pace, hurtling toward the car. As the figure gets close, as any sane person will do, they press on the gas pedal and speed away. Up close, you can see the figure's long arms and big body that look a lot like a Bigfoot. But I'm not quite sure if that's a Bigfoot or cryptid or just some crazy man. It gives you a creepy feeling to think about what could have happened if the car didn't manage to get away in time. The forest cam was supposed to capture coyotes in the wild, but instead it caught something much scarier and unsettling. The video shows the view of forest bushes at night. After a while, the camera captures something lurking in the darkness. A strange creature emerges from the shadows and crawls toward the camera in a creepy manner. As it gets closer, its face becomes visible, and it's not like any creature we know. It has big wildcat ears and a big wolf-like body, but what's really unsettling is its face. Its facial features resemble a human. What do you think it was? Being a parent brings worries, and leaving your child alone at home is one of the biggest concerns. That's why lots of parents put nanny cams around the house to keep an eye on them when they're not there. However, this parent did the same but ended up finding something else to worry about. This video comes from a nanny cam. You can see a child leaving a room and then heading back towards it. But here's where it gets strange. As the child is going back into the room, we see the head of what looks like another child peeking out from behind the sofa and then going into the room. Sounds normal, right? Well, it would be if there were actually two kids at home. But the truth is, the child was alone in the house and was the only child. So, who was the second boy? Was it really a child, or was it something far more sinister and unholy? After this incident, the parents decided to never leave their child alone at night again. A man was wandering through a deep forest, God knows for what reason, when he stumbled upon a well that was all blocked up. In the video, you can see the well covered with logs, but when the man records a look inside, he gets the shock of his life. A creepy face is staring right back at him from the depths of the well. This sight makes the man sprint away in fear. When we get a closer view of the face in the well, we can see its eerie details. Glowing purple eyes and a skull-like appearance that sends shivers down the spine. Could someone be pulling a prank on him? Or maybe it's a part of some strange ritual by a group. Or is it something beyond explanation? Whatever it is, my advice is to never, ever look inside a blocked well again. This video was posted by a man on TikTok in which he was out exploring a field of bushes at night. He used night vision to see clearly in the recording. While he was recording and moving through the bushes, he spotted something ahead. It looked like a creature that's kind of like a human, but it was bent over and doing something in the bushes. When the person zooms in on the creature notices and suddenly looks right at him. This freaks the person out, and they start running away. At first glance, the strange creature looks like a tall and skinny person, hunched in the bushes. But when you take a closer look, its bent back and long, curved neck make it even creepier. That hunched back, long neck, and those glowing eyes all remind you of something like a skinwalker. But let's hope it's not actually one of those. While a forest ranger was out observing the forest and its inhabitants, as he was recording, he unexpectedly came across a gigantic Bigfoot-like creature in the distance. This big creature was only seen walking for a few seconds before disappearing behind the trees. Some people might say it could be an ape just going for a walk. But if you look closely at how it's walking on two legs, it's different. Apes can stand on two legs. But the way this creature is moving with that posture in the video doesn't match up with how an ape would do it. Moreover, this creature is enormous. Its body is so big, especially when you compare it to the trees around it. It also has long arms and a thick black coat of fur, just like what we'd expect from a Bigfoot. The way it walks and posture even looks kind of human. So, in my opinion, this might actually be a real sighting of a Bigfoot. What do you think? This video comes from a trail camera, and the owner claims it caught a special moment. Santa's Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, visiting Christmas lights on the edge of Exmoor. In the video, we can see the reindeer feeling hungry and munching on the grass outside a house. Then, it spots some bird food and starts eating that too. Nothing unusual, just a hungry deer. The noise wakes up the homeowners, so one of them comes out to check. At first they don't notice the reindeer and go back inside. But when they take a closer look, they spot the deer and start taking pictures. The person goes inside to share the exciting news with their family that the reindeer is back. Meanwhile, the reindeer is trying to get more food from a tree and uses its antlers to knock down a bottle, and it succeeds. I think there's nothing strange about this footage. It's just a wholesome encounter with a reindeer who was simply looking for some food. This video comes from a wildlife camera placed in a forest to keep an eye on bears. In the video, we can see a big tree ahead, and two bears appear from behind it. One of the bears stands on its hind legs, puts its paws on the tree, and starts twirling around it. The second bear follows, but it stays on all fours. At first, the scene seems like a playful interaction between the two bears, having a good time. Towards the end, after a few rounds, both bears stop and seem to hug each other in a way. I believe it might be their playful nature, but it's still a bit unusual. Motion cameras are a big help for homeowners. They detect movement, take pictures, and send alerts. These cameras are also good for recording forest life, but sometimes they capture things that the humans aren't meant to see. This video is from a motion camera set up in a forest in Sydney, Australia. The camera got triggered by movement in the trees ahead. At first, when we watch the footage, there's nothing visible. Everything seems normal. Maybe just a wild cat or deer passing by. But when the video is zoomed in, things get creepy. We can spot a terrifying face hiding in the darkness, sitting beside a tree. What's even scarier is its glowing eyes, just staring blankly at the camera. It does this for a while, and then the video stops. What do you think that face was? A woman shared a picture of her new room setup on her Facebook account, excited to show it to her friends. However, the comments she received weren't about her room. They were about something else. At first glance, the picture seems normal. A sofa placed in front of a treadmill, a cozy arrangement. But if you take a closer look at the reflection in the closet mirror, you'll notice a face. When you zoom in on that face, it's not a human face, but that of a really creepy demon child. What makes it eerie is that the woman had no idea she was living with such a presence, always watching from the shadows. Ring cameras have become essential for homes, especially in forested areas. This video is from one such ring camera. In footage, a naked man is seen walking alone at night. Surprisingly, he doesn't appear bothered by his nudity. But he's clearly terrified of something or someone. The naked man roams around the homeowner's property, yelling and searching for something. He leaves briefly, then returns to grab a pipe from the homeowner's place. Afterward, he moves to a side path, searching for something, before eventually heading back to where he came from. The unsettling part is that this man was on a late-night quest, seemingly searching for something while no one else was around. I wonder what he would have done if the homeowner confronted him. What was his purpose? Was he genuinely disturbed by something or dealing with mental instability? The answer remains a mystery. This is a video from a Ring camera of a home. We can see that in the Ring cam video, it's pitch black night and it's raining. A woman approaches the door, holding an umbrella, and proceeds to ring the doorbell. Initially, it appears as if she's yawning while pressing the doorbell. As the doorbell chimes, she steps back slightly, closing her mouth after the yawn. However, things get weird. She opens her mouth wide again, standing there with her mouth agape. This unsettling sight continues for a full 20 seconds. After this time, she presses the doorbell once more, still with her mouth wide open, before finally leaving the property. The eerie part is that this unfolds in the dead of night, and the woman's prolonged mouth opening raises shivers as we consider what might have happened if the homeowner had chosen to answer the door. Capturing the beauty of clouds on a lovely day is a wonderful experience. However, that wasn't the case for this individual. In the video, we see someone using a time-lapse to capture the changing sky, and everything seems ordinary with people moving in and out of the frame. But then, something peculiar occurs. Out of nowhere, a greenish, glowing smoke materializes and quickly disappears. Upon closer inspection and slow-motion playback, it's evident that this smoke emerges from thin air and vanishes just as mysteriously. What adds to the oddness is that the video was in time-lapse mode, making the appearance of the smoke surprisingly fast. What could this sighting possibly be? Is it a spirit? You decide. A girl received a video from the local police, and it's like something from a bad dream.
This is what the police sent me. This is what they found from all the footage.
In the video, there's a girl wearing a night dress, and she's crouched next to a car in a really strange way, almost not like a human. She's hunched over on the ground. Then she jumps to her right like a dog would. After that, she starts eating something from the ground, and her back is hunched in a way that doesn't seem possible for a person. Finally, she stands up and walks back into her house. The girl who got this video from the police says they told her that it was actually her in the video, probably sleepwalking. But she's sure that it can't be her because she would have noticed, and she was in bed, getting ready for work the next day.
I know for a fact that I worked the next morning, and I have to wake up at 6 a.m. I know I was in bed. I know I was in bed.
It's pretty spooky to think that someone could do all of that while sleepwalking and doesn't know about anything the next morning. I really hope she never sleepwalks near my property. Taking a trip through the forest is an exciting adventure, but you need to watch out for things dropping from the trees above. It could be snakes, bugs, or even monkeys. But have you ever thought about a mountain lion falling down on you? That's really scary, isn't it? In this video, an adventurer shares their experience of walking through a nearby forest.
That's a first. It's a mountain lion.
Climbed really high, probably waiting for prey to come by so it could pounce and have its next meal. Thankfully, the adventurer noticed it in time. Otherwise, who knows? They could have been its next meal. Wildlife cameras are truly fascinating. They capture sights we're excited to see. One night, this wildlife cam caught a wild boar approaching it. But something was off. The wild boar was moving strangely. As it got closer, it became clear that it had an injured leg. The camera flash made its eyes glow, adding to the eerie atmosphere. However, there's a feeling that something isn't quite right. Maybe another wild animal injured the boar, possibly, but there's a chance it could be something even wilder than the animals around. Out in the Merrimack Forest of New Hampshire, a trail camera was set up. In the footage captured at 12:05 p.m., a small animal appears in view. At first I was sure that is a squirrel, until a closer look revealed it to be a fisher. The fisher comes into view from the left side of the frame. It then leaps onto the trail, sniffs around for a bit, and eventually walks off into the forest, certainly looking for a midday snack. This clip comes from a tourist enjoying the beauty of Mono Lake, California. The tourist starts recording, capturing the stunning view of the lake. While filming the lake, they pan the camera to capture the rock formation next to it. Did you catch it? Upon reviewing the video, the tourist realizes there was something near the rock that they didn't notice while recording. Upon zooming in, a large black figure resembling a Bigfoot emerges from behind the rock and then mysteriously disappears. Upon closer examination, the figure's massive body and thick black fur resemble that of the legendary Bigfoot. Do you share the same thought? These videos that I am about to show you come from Scott Carpenter, and he is certain that in the area where he lives, there lives at least one Bigfoot, but he is stranger than any one Bigfoot you've seen. He claims that this Bigfoot is a completely white one, and he has some evidence to show for that claim. He traversed the forests and took recordings of every journey, and with more long hours of going through every footage and enhancing it, he has found some strange sightings of something that's been stalking him all throughout his journey. He has spotted many times a white figure trying to hide near bushes or trees while keeping a close eye on his movements. Scott's cameras managed to pick up multiple occurrences of this, but one of the best sights he caught was the creature's face. We can see the special color of the creature, which I am guessing isn't helping it hide at all in a green forest. But the creature also seems strangely creepy and cautious at the same time, as if he is fearing Scott. Could this be a mutation of the known Bigfoot creature? A mutation that made it completely white? This security footage was taken by someone who set up these cameras because they believe the house is haunted and wanted proof of that. And as you are about to see in this clip, the house certainly is haunted. We can see the woman sleeping in her room, everything starting out normal, but just a bit past 8 p.m. we can see the door of a small cabinet opening on its own. Soon after, the light inside it start going on and off, but creepier, the stand near her bed seems to move slowly, to a point where it hits the bed, as if to wake her up. Once she wakes up thinking she heard something, she calls after someone in the house, who immediately comes to comfort her.
Honey?
They go back into the room to check again, knowing something is not right, but decide they do not want to stay in that room any longer. But just a few seconds after they leave, this happens. The footage ends there, but we can all say with certainty something is wrong in that house. Could it be a poltergeist playing with them? A lady shared this video on her TikTok account. convinced that she captured a glimpse of a Bigfoot. The video starts with a creature peeking out from the bushes, almost like it's hiding. The creature moves around, covered in black fur. The woman recording the video mentions it's been there for about 5 minutes, and she's puzzled about what it could be.
I'm not sure what that is, but I ain't gonna lie, it's a little unnerving.
This creature might look like an ape or a bear at first glance, but what's really unsettling is its massive size and how much space it occupies. It's way bigger than a regular bear or ape. What adds to the fear is that it's just standing there, as if waiting for the lady to step out of her car. Maybe even planning something. What could it be? Is it really a Bigfoot? Or is it something even more frightening than that? A lady posted this video on her TikTok page and firmly believes that the creatures caught by the camera are the affirmed Bigfoot. As the video begins, we can see a creature standing behind a tree. It seems to be hiding behind the tree trunk. It can be seen peeping. At the same moment, another bipedal creature dashes from the right side. It is carrying something that looks like a basket. The woman recording claimed that these unidentified creatures could be stealing chicken that I think are hidden in the basket. One can mistake this too to be ape animals. But as we know, primates normally walk on 4s and occasionally on 2s. Do you notice their hunched backs and that they are enveloped in a rough coat of black hair? But at the same time, all this seems too convenient. Someone filming just as these creatures are passing by, without any of them noticing the cameraman presence. And also, their size is just too similar to a person, so I am willing to say that most likely this video is fake. Do you think the same? In this video, 2 teens experience a scary and unforgettable sight. As they are walking in the middle of the night for God knows what reason, they came across a white masquerade mask lying on top of some dirty rags. As they go on, they find another white mask hanging beside the trunk of a tree. These masks are pretty frightening, and one would wonder the braveness of this duo. As they continue with their walk, amidst the tall grass, a mask suddenly appears, and this time it seems to be worn by someone. This terrifies the boys, and the video ends as they scamper away in fright. Could it be that someone could be pranking these lads, or something mystical was out there? Could it be some sort of cult? The security camera caught a ghostly apparition hovering above a man who went to visit a graveyard of a loved one. The footage shows the man kneeling down over the tombstone, and the ghost appears to lean over the man's shoulders. The man does not notice the presence of the ghost and continues mourning. Even as the man stands up and walks away, a white shadow can be spotted looming in the area. Perhaps the ghost was friendly and only came to comfort the man. Maybe a ghost of the person who this man lost, still lingering to offer comfort to him. A trail camera caught a weird sight in this forest at night. We can see a fox walking from the left, and our attention is quickly shifted to the 2 wide open eyes that are lurking in the darkness. Notice how alive the eyes are, and even they can be seen blinking. The fox is unaware of what is happening in its surroundings and stares innocently into the camera, its eyes glimmering in the shadows. This pair of eyes appear to be from a sort of large animal that maybe was resting and was awakened by the fox's movements. Nature is really scary. What kind of creature do you think was creeping there? This video was recorded in 2013 in the depths of the forest in Mississippi. A ranger walking in the middle of the woods, as he was surveying the area, he stumbles upon a huge beast. A dark figure is seen standing in the forest. The video has low lighting and it is hazy. Because of this, I cannot make out the details of the figure. When its physique is closely examined, the creature has a massive body frame and a thick coat of fur covering it from its head. Notice its humanoid nature as it walks bipedally amongst the trees. The man recording is persistent and keeps on chasing it, but soon stops as he realizes that he is on the heels of a Bigfoot. Others have suggested that it might be just a normal ape creature, while others have debated that this enigmatic being might be the Bigfoot. And certainly, I would agree with the latter, since to me, an ape wouldn't be this huge. An interesting spectacle is captured in a river. A mysterious, furry creature lingers in the middle of the river, standing half submerged in the water. What we are seeing is its back as it is facing the other direction. Considering the reported height of this river to be 5 to 6 feet, I think this creature might be a really tall one. As much as we are intrigued by the idea of a real Bigfoot sighting, we can't ignore the unusual physique of this specific one. It's notably leaner and slenderer than the typical descriptions of the Bigfoot. So could we be authentically looking at a Bigfoot, preferably a female kind? Or maybe is it a hoax of some kind crafted to fool its audience? The owner of this house was met by a strange sight when they went to investigate the strange noises that came from their roof. An ominous creature of abnormal shape and size was lurking on the rooftop. It appears to have an alien head that appears almost human. Due to the low light, I cannot quite make out its facial features. As for its unusual body, it has short arms and torso with no legs visible. This gives out eerie vibes since the intentions and identity of the creature are unknown. Could it be an alien entity? What could you have done if you were to find such a creature hanging around on your rooftop? This trail camera caught an incredible event in Swan Valley, Montana. A battle between two skilled scavengers, a bald eagle and a coyote. In the video, you can see the bald eagle chasing off the coyote that is trying to scuffle off with the remains of the deer's carcass. Despite the coyote having a larger size than the eagle, it is challenged by the eagle, which has a massive wingspan, making it look bigger. They continue chasing each other back and forth, and at one point the coyote can be seen going off with a large chunk of meat. The video ends as this brawl continues, and we don't get to see who went away with a meatier flesh. In the remote expanse of the snowy mountains, a vigilant camera lens captures an enigmatic spectacle, a scene shrouded in both intrigue and mystery. A humanoid figure casually walking in the middle of the woods. Upon investigation, this figure has a rich coat of fur enveloping its entire form. Notice how its arms are long, almost reaching its knees. It has a near upright posture, thus possessing the known characteristics of the Bigfoot. It's possible to consider the alternative perspective of the observed figure might have been a person donning a Bigfoot costume. This interpretation introduces an element of skepticism into the equation, suggesting the potential for intentional misrepresentation. A man in the snowy mountains claims to have come across the Bigfoot walking. At first, it looks like a normal man scaling the snowy landscape, but notice how abnormally large this figure is. It is unusual for a man to be of that size. As it moves forward, we get to see its odd walking style. When closely analyzed, the creature appears to have a thick black and white fury body, although the white could be snow stuck on its fur. This bizarre scene is bound to rouse up speculations as to whether the creature could be a possible Bigfoot. In this video, we get to see the dark side of nature. In a suburban neighborhood in Randolph, Massachusetts, a flock of turkeys is seen circling around the carcass of a dead cat. The cause of its death is unknown. What's more disturbing is that more and more turkeys emerge from the woods and join the flock. Why are the turkeys surrounding it? The viewed birds seem to be conducting a ritual of some sort. maybe paying tribute to the dead feline. This family was out enjoying Mother Nature when they detect something prowling not far from where they were. The recorder at once swings his camera to the strange creature's direction, and there it is. Something or someone seems to be watching them in the tall grass. At first you can't make out what it is, but once the video is stabilized, the creature can be defined. It is an all-black figure, as if covered by fur. Look at its hunched posture and bipedal stance. Many people have suggested this to be none other than the Bigfoot itself. Could have this family run into the Sasquatch? What do you think? This video is recorded by someone in a police station who happened to see the weird behavior of this officer. He is seen standing in the hallway, making gestures as if he's speaking to someone. But there is obviously no one there. We can see his hand gestures, as if trying to explain something.
Yes, sir. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to a elderly lady. I saw her walking by the store, and she said she's looking for Mr. Griffin. Her name is Miss Abigail.
Did you say Miss Abigail?
Yes, ma'am. She says she wants to see Mr. Griffin, and I told her that the canvas is closed, that she should come tomorrow morning, and she might see Mr. Griffin.
She's been passed on for 2 years now. No, there's nobody in front of you at all.
The lady reaches out to the police officer, asking, who is he talking to? He responds saying that he's talking to a lady named Abigail who is looking for someone. The lady apparently knows who he is talking to because she immediately tells him the lady has passed 2 years ago. The officer asks if she cannot see on camera who he is talking to, Miss Abigail apparently still being there. The moment he realizes what is going on, he begins backing off, turning into a full sprint to get the heck out of there. I think we've all heard about situations like this one, where someone is met by a friendly visitor, perhaps asking for help, and only after the fact do we realize they were never there. As this video begins, all seems to be normal in this spooky place. Then suddenly, a very scary creature walks out from behind the tree, and its form is rather unearthly. It appears humanoid, though having a thin frame and an elongated head like that of an alien. It has a short stature, and it walks bipedally while bending its back. What's unsettling is that its arms are extended and reach the ground. See how thin the arms are and look like long rods. These arms look to be the ones supporting its body. What exactly is this unearthly being? Maybe a modified version of the Skinwalker, or this could be just an edited video. The owner of this house must have been really shocked when she saw this video the following morning. A security camera shows us the kitchen of where a series of disturbing events take place. A perturbing sound of unknown origin is heard as though something was rustling about in the dishes. Then suddenly, the cupboards fly open, and the cutlery are heard banging all over the place. What's frightening is that no one seems to be in the kitchen, and all these happen supernaturally. This place is undoubtedly haunted by a very daunting ghost, and they better vacate early before situations erupt. This heart-stopping footage of an unknown creature amidst the tall grasses was captured by a brave man walking in the middle of the night for unknown reasons. As he shines his flashlight in a particular direction, he stops when he notices a pale figure looming in the tall grassland. It appears to be squatted on something facing downwards. I think it could be feasting on remains of a carcass. As he zooms in, suddenly, the creature lifts its head up, revealing two otherworldly eyes which glare at the man hauntingly and eerily. This really spooks the man. This creature is pretty scary, and I would not want to encounter one face to face. From past recorded incidents, this creature resembles the Rake, a cryptid known to stalk and terrorize people. We can see the recording from someone who is driving their motorcycle behind an ambulance, perhaps going to an emergency. Based on the writing on the ambulance, I think this might be India. The camera quickly pans towards the right, where we can see a dense forest. But more terrifying, there is something lurking in the bushes. As he advances, he can see a lion creepily staring back at him. His quick thinking makes him go next to the ambulance, in order to have it act as a shield. We can see the lion keeps its stare on the man, and I am sure if he was alone, without those two other vehicles, he would have been the lion's next meal. These lions have become more and more confident around humans. The lion attack on humans, especially in India, increasing dramatically in recent years. On the bear topic, also this trail camera caught a stunning montage. A bear with her cubs can be seen passing. They reach a certain tree that seems to have fascinated them. They start sniffing the tree, and even the mama bear is prompted to stand on its two legs. Can you see the height of this beast? The bear strolls away, leaving the two cubs who are still excited by the tree. As they explore, they all at once start scratching their backs with the tree. Their movements are funny, and it is as if they appear to be dancing. This scene is truly remarkable. These people were traveling on an almost empty road at night when they see something amazing walking around. A gigantic moose just strolling on the grass between the two lanes.
Hey there, bud. No, I'm not going to touch it. Hey there, bud.
Just look at how enormous this animal is. Even the other driver backs away their car in order to get a better view of the moose. What amazes me about this encounter is just how relaxed the moose is. These creatures are usually a lot more aggressive and do not feel so at home next to cars and humans. So I'm not sure what is wrong with this particular moose, but I'm sure that was a thrilling experience for all the drivers who got to witness it. This video was recorded in Chile. A guy set up a camera to record two fast-moving cars racing on the highway. And as the cars flew by, the camera captures a rather peculiar sight. After the cars pass, a dog suddenly appears in the middle of the road and crosses safely to the end of the road. What's odd is that the dog wasn't seen crossing from the other side of the road. Rather, it just appeared in the middle just as the cars pass. This clip has sparked imagination on viewers. How did the dog manage to safely cross the road without being hit? To me, this could be a glitch in the footage. What do you think? Could this be a dog spirit that happened to have been captured by the camera, or an actual dog that escaped being hit by a narrow whisker? A security camera happens to have caught a ghostly apparition in a pub in the UK. As the restaurant waiter was cleaning up at night, a white shadowy figure appears at the door of the restaurant and appears to be closely following the waiter. The waiter doesn't seem to notice the ghost and goes by her duties normally, although in an interview she said she felt the presence of someone with her in the pub. What's more is that the pub has had more than one ghostly encounter, all happening in the night. Could this be the ghost of a girl that was a frequent visitor of this pub, or a simple camera glitch? If you want to see more strange and amazing footage, then watch this.